This is section 31 from Caesar's de Bello Gallico, Book 5, and the council that has convened of all the leaders in Sabinus and Cotta's military winter quarters has just convened to discuss what they should do in the wake of Ambiorix's message to them that they needed to get out because there was going to be a conspiracy of all the Gauls. And so we have some impersonal passives in this section that probably Latin students need to get used to if they're going to read Caesar. It is arisen from the council, and they comprehendunt each other. So they literally they embrace each other. They lay hold of each other. Here, I've always taken this to mean that they shake hands essentially. Um, and they beg that they not deducant, that they not lead the situation into the greatest danger. And then we have some ablative of means here by their dissension, by their disagreement, and their pertinacity, their tenaciousness, their obstinacy. And then this colon here lets us know that we are starting out a new syntax based on orant, and they're begging that we have this indirect statement that the rem is an easy thing, right? So that the situation is easy, whether they should stay or they should set out, if only they all feel or agree one thing, or maybe the same thing sounds good there too. And then they also approve that one thing. So if only they all feel and approve as one, or one thing, or the same thing. Contra, on the other hand, they beg that, or they orant, they say that they foresee, they ascertain no safety in disagreement. The situation is led up to the middle of the night here in disputatio, in their argument. And finally, Cotta dot manus. Cotta gives his hands. So he throws his hands up in the air, per motus, thoroughly moved, influenced. The opinion of Sabinus wins. The Sabinus's opinion prevails. And notice that there's a nice alliteration here, and that alliteration also is a bunch of S's. So this sort of like serpentine slithering sound that doesn't sound very good. Sounds foreboding. And it is announced at first light that se ituros, that they will go. So the remaining part of the night is taken up in wakefulness, essentially, in sleeplessness. When, or maybe while, each man, each soldier, was looking around at or inspecting sua, his own things. And then we have some indirect questions here after that. What he might be able to carry with him, and what of his tools, his instrumentum of the winter quarters, he might be forced to leave behind, to abandon. All things are thought through. Why, or for what reason it might be stayed. So here's that impersonal passive again. Or perhaps why or for what reason they would remain without danger, and for what reason or why that danger may be increased by the languidity, the weakness, the lack of because of the lack of sleep of soldiers and their wakefulness, their sleeplessness. So prima luce again at first light in this way, and that seek is a really important word here. I think we gloss over that. So thus or in this way, yada yada yada. But here, in this way, all of this sleeplessness and worry and thinking about what could and should be, they set out from their camp. And then the grammar here is pretty tough. So bear with me here. Ut here means as or just as. Just as people who, or those whom it had been persuaded not by an enemy, but that a plan had been given by Ambiorix, a very friendly man, with a very long battle line and with very great baggage, going back to Proficisquentor. So they set out from the camp with a very long train and very great amount of baggage.